2016, I had a good job and a steady paycheck working in the coffee industry. But you know, sometimes you just gotta do your own thing. And that's what I did. Starting your own business is risky, but it's also rewarding, and scary, and stressful, and kind of amazing. Folks do it all the time, but the ones who make it always seem to know something about people.
I always tell people that I was more ready for failure than I was for success. It was probably like really silly of me to just like jump into this with like no business plan, but it was crazy. I don't know what happened, what was going on, what was in the air, how people knew we were opening. But yeah, like I said, it was like a 3-hour wait, and after that soft opening, I ended up having to hire 6 people like in a week and train them within a week so that we could get ready for our grand opening, and it kind of just never slowed down since then. During like the summers and stuff, I would help my mom with her coffee shop. You know, that was really fun because like I kind of had a way to like get back into coffee a little bit, like making those pour overs like 1,000 times a day for everyone. But then I did a lot of research and I learned about Vietnamese coffee, like the bean itself. And I learned that Vietnam is the 2nd largest coffee producer in the world. They're first in Robusta bean. This country does like grow these beans. We have a huge coffee culture. And so after like reading so much about it, I'm like, what better people than Vietnamese people to champion this bean, you know? I don't know what was the push or the drive, but whatever it is, I'm glad it's here.
When I was a kid, I used to run around to all the houses in the neighborhood, rounding up anyone willing to join me in whatever wild game I had made up. I always like having excuses to get people together, and I still do. Call it community or service or whatever you like. But what are you doing on Friday?
You should go to the beach.
I've always been someone who loves hosting and love having people over, whether it be cooking or bartending or, you know, you're able to utilize some skill set and something that you love to serve someone else. And I think that that is like in essence what being a barista or a bartender is. I remember when I still lived at my parents' house in high school, and I would just invite my friends over and just make them coffee in the mornings. You know, if we didn't have time to go to a shop or wanted to actually make coffee that we bought from a roaster that wasn't from California that we couldn't get. And that was, you know, that was what sparked it. That was the seed that was planted. Coffee to me has always felt like how surfing was. Surfing was always this underlying thing in my life that I consistently did no matter what, from, you know, the day my dad would push us into waves to present day. A lot of the trajectory of my life was sparked or happened through coffee, you know, whether it would be friends and jobs and places, like it all kind of goes back to coffee.
The longer I work in coffee, the more I find there is to explore. And that's how it should be, right? It's exciting, and it can be tempting to just keep going, nonstop. But I guess the trick is to maintain some sort of balance.
I think like a successful coffee career to me looks like, are you passionate about the product you're serving? Is it making the world seem bigger to you rather than smaller?
Hey.
when you wake up and you've been in this cozy little space for however many hours you've slept, it's so hard to like you've built that out of like however many hours you've been there. And so I think keeping that cocoon really sealed for as long as you can, to me, feels like really cool. There's something about like starting the day, but not really starting the day. Drinking coffee in bed is like, it's like symbolic of the ritual of building the nest. You can't always have everything be exactly the way you want it to be. And so for us, it's a lot of making our house feel really good to us. So like whatever we have, let's put it in the right place that makes it feel good.
I was like, 2023 is gonna be the year where I just chill and enjoy what I already have. I wrote down like things that I wanted to do for myself. So one of them was learn a new hobby or skill, and coffee was my hobby. Now it's my career, so I'm just like, okay, what do I do now? I saw like an Instagram ad for a ceramics class that was only 4 weeks. I was like, 4 weeks is great, like I can commit to that. What I love about it is that you have to really concentrate on like what you're doing, like be very intentional with everything you do. It kind of like allows me to be okay with not being in control, right? Because like as a business owner, I get a little anxious when things are out of my control. And I know that's bad because like it's business, like things fluctuate all the time. So with ceramics, one, it allows me to just be more flexible, be okay with things not being in my control, and to just like kind of focus on what's in front of me. I'm here so that I can stop thinking about the cafe. Like I'm here to just enjoy something that does not relate to work. I really needed that, like something that I can just like not think about work for an hour or two of my day.
Woodworking for me was something that started as just a hobby that was creative and fun, and I get to work with tools and work with my hands and kind of take something from my brain to paper to actual physical thing. It was kind of just this skill set that I could utilize to help my friends and help people, you know, and be somewhat relied upon, which to me was very gratifying and fulfilling, you know. And so every time I would get an order, whether it be a cutting board, a shelf, a bed frame, or something, that to me was somebody putting their faith in me. And that to me was always just the coolest part about it. There's plenty of parallels between coffee and regular life, coffee and other work life, and coffee and friends and stuff, you know? It's really cool seeing just like this, I don't know, this cohesive line through everything, of coffee to woodworking to photography to dirt bikes to people. There's just this one consistent line of creativity, hospitality, transparency in all of it, you know? I think those are the driving forces behind why I love all these things that I do, because there is that cohesiveness to it.
Yeah, I usually meditate. Typically, it's usually some sort of mindfulness practice to start the day. I find that to be really helpful to center myself and like breathe. I I usually do some sort of like, I don't know if exercise is the right word, but some sort of mind-body practice. So whether it's working out in my house or taking a walk. I mean, once the mind and mind-body connection is solid, I go out into the world. Running to me became a moving meditation. You're spending X amount of time just with yourself. I think it was just a moment where I was like, man, I have so much energy inside of me, just kind of like in thoughts and just chaos in my body, that I was like, man, I wonder what it'd be like to just run until I'm tired. I think running and roasting really do have a similar sort of track in that way. They take a certain level of commitment to like being present.
Working in specialty coffee or trying to get into specialty coffee, like I knew what I wanted to foster and what kind of community I wanted to create when I had my own shop. I love hanging out with my staff. Like when we're we always say off the record, you know, like let's go out. Monday nights are bowling nights. My staff well-being means so much more to me than like profits. Like I truly mean that, because your business is only as good as your workers, you know, because one, I'm not there every day. My staff runs the shop for me, and I want them to feel like they matter, because when they feel like they matter and, you know, they're cared for, they will come and show up to work and champion your mission and like do it for you, you know. And so I'm really thankful for that. Work just has to be fun and enjoyable. That is my priority. Like making profits, of course I have to keep the bills paid and my employees paid, but I'm like, what does that all mean if everyone's miserable, if I'm not making an impact? You know, like I don't have to change someone's life like completely, but like make a small impact on their lives so that they want better for themselves, or like know what to expect and not settle. Like I want to be that role model person.
Did you get it?
That's so good.
What really sparked life in me
These are freshly washed.
is wilderness and that job. Wilderness is an amazing dirt bike adventure company. We take guests on these once-in-a-lifetime adventures, whether it be on a dirt bike or driving a side-by-side, taking away your phones, just being immersed in nature. And, you know, it's on all of our shirts. Wilderness makes you better. I'm totally content with coffee being a hobby, you know, because I did coffee professionally for so long, it feels like, and I've gained like an awesome community through it. And I definitely am very thankful for Pat and Truman at Hopper and Burr, always feeling like I have a home there to go back to. They're amazing people, and it's an amazing shop, and it's cool being able to miss something and still have it be accessible if I need, you know. For the first time in my life, I'm very happy and joyful and content with where my life is at as far as, you know, work goes and community and place of living and all that stuff. And so I'm loving just sitting in this time.
I think that's what makes a good roaster, is someone who really is present the whole way through. I like to refer to the barista as the morning bartender. You are the person who gets to greet people before they're ready to greet anybody sometimes. The challenge is, how do you connect the person putting the cup of coffee to their lips to all of this history of something that maybe they don't have the time to care about, but at the least, like, trying to become more aware of what we all consume and what it costs, either, you know, money-wise, or what does it cost human-wise to, like, get this thing from where it starts to where it finishes. I'm a runner. I'm a meditation student. I'm a coffee professional. I'm queer. I'm a musician. We have like space to be the people that we know ourselves to be, and we can make mistakes and we can be messy and have people see us for who we really are outside of like, oh, you're a barista, or you're a nurse, or you're this or that. I think having that community that really sees you, it's amazing.